Well, it's about 7 a.m, maybe 7:15 here at Aber Game Lodge in the Bushveld. It's an absolutely beautiful morning, and we're on to day 3 now, and we've got some big plans for today. We're going to be taking out the FX Royale Extreme arrow gun, fitting some hunting broadheads to it, and going out after a Blesbok to try and see if we can get a Blesbok shot. To my knowledge, it will be the first Blesbok ever shot with an air-powered bow, although I wouldn't really call this a bow at all. It's more of a just a gun that shoots arrows. But it's a first, so I'm a little bit nervous. Got to get the shot placement just right. It's going to be even more difficult having to try and get it on camera, but I think we can do it. It should be a lot of fun. We're going to have some breakfast now, maybe relax a little bit. I don't think there's much of a rush. We've got the whole day to do this, and then we head out. No wind today, not even a single cloud in the sky. And it's not going to be too hot either because it's the middle of winter here, so beautiful weather. Couldn't wish for a better day. Now I've just got to wait for the other guys to wake up, then we'll have a little powwow, discuss the day's events, and get going. Cool, see you then.
I can't really describe the feelings that were running through me before the hunt. This was uncharted territory for me. I had done plenty of hunting with both rifles and air guns, but hunting with an arrow is very different, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect. Aber Game Lodge is a large property with plenty of hunting ground and a vast variety of animals, but we first needed to get into Blesbok territory before we could set out on foot. We started off in the thick stuff, but eventually the landscape opened up a bit and we ended up on some wide open plains. This was where we would look for the Blesbok.
Right, so we're going off to the Blesbok now, and we've got something over here that you've probably never seen before. Definitely haven't seen it before on a Blesbok hunt. This is the FX Royale Extreme. It shoots arrows. It's an air rifle, totally different to anything you've seen. This is what we're going to be shooting with today. So I've got a 300 grain arrow over here with a Rage hypodermic 2-blade broadhead. Got a 2.5 times magnification scope. It's nice and wide field of view. So I'm going to use the mil dots for different drop values. Got a rangefinder here, and basically what we're going to do when we get close enough to the animal is range the animal. Got all the holdover values here for different distances. So for example, if we're at 30 meters, I hold 1.8 mil dots. If we're at 35, hold 2.8, etc, etc. So it's going to be important that we do range the animal first. And I've got the scope cam at the back, just making life hard for myself. It's going to be quite difficult to look through the screen like this when I shoot, but hopefully it'll help you to see the shot on camera. Right, let's hope we have some success. Let's get out there and try and get this Blesbok.
You can see here we've got some Blesbok tracks over here. They like this sort of area, so hopefully we find them in a bit. We'll just follow the tracks for a while now and see if we can get them.
One of the biggest differences between hunting with pellets or bullets and hunting with arrows is that you need to get in very close. Arrows fired from a bow, crossbow or arrow gun can be extremely effective in taking down an animal if the shot placement is good, but if shot placement isn't good, it can be a whole different story. I've hunted Blesbok before with a rifle and it was pretty straightforward. A 200-yard shot is not too difficult, but this was going to be a real challenge. Because this gun is fairly loud, there was quite a bit of concern that the animal might jump the shot. In other words, hear the shot and react before the arrow makes contact. I really wanted to get in as close as possible. Finding the animals was not the tricky part. Blesbok are generally out in the open, so we found a herd pretty quickly, but getting within range was a whole different story. And being from a different part of the country, this was terrain that I wasn't quite used to either.
Yes, it's amazing here. I'm used to hunting in the Eastern Cape. It's still in South Africa, but it's a totally different landscape. Feels very, very different. You know, the vegetation here is completely different. We've got more or less the same animals, but you kind of go about your hunting strategies a little bit different as well. So it's a nice experience to do something a little bit different. It's not same old in the Eastern Cape. We're up in Limpopo in the Bushveld. So we're doing things Bushveld style today.
We made multiple attempts to getting close to the herd, but there was one particular Blesbok ewe with a calf that was very alert and always seemed to be the one to spook whenever we came close.
Right, well, it's been a little bit frustrating so far. These are plains game animals, which means they're out
in kind of the more open areas, and that makes it quite difficult to kind of stalk up to them because you don't have as much cover. It's not like, let's just say, like a kudu, for example, where they really like the thick stuff and they're out in the open here. So we've walked up to them once or twice, trying to get within range, because obviously you have to be quite close, and every time we've tried to get close, one of them has spotted us and they're off. So it's been quite tough, but we're going to keep at it. We've still got quite a few hours, so see if we can try to get another shot. After multiple failed attempts to stalk within range, we decided that it was time for a change, so we moved on to plan B. Right, so we're going to change plans just a little bit. We've been trying to go after them, and it seems that we're really struggling to just find enough cover to get in close enough to them to be able to take a shot. So we're going to change plans a bit, and we're going to let them come to us. We've noticed that they kind of do the rounds here. There's a spot right over here where there's a lot of dropping, so obviously they like the spot. So what we're going to do is we're just going to wait behind one of these bushes on the field. You know, it might take a while, but hopefully they can come close enough to us, and when they do, we're going to take our chance. So hope it turns out well.
Yeah, this time of the day they like this area, so hopefully they'll be around shortly. Perfect, that was right in the lungs. Yeah, good shot, mate. He won't go far. Hey, let's just watch him for a while.
Doesn't look good, eh?
No, yeah, that's a good shot.
Perfect.
Good shot. Let's go see if we can find the blood trail. Well done,
Cool.
man.
Thanks, man. Gee, cool. Let's go find him.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. If we slow down the footage of the shot, you can see that the animal was presenting me with a perfect quartering away shot. But he was quite far away at about 35 meters, and he did exactly what we expected. He heard the shot and he moved at the last moment. Thankfully, the arrow tore straight through the lungs, and we saw exactly what we wanted to see: plenty of blood. Bullets kill by destroying vital tissue, but arrows kill by hemorrhaging, which means that the animal dies by losing all its blood very quickly. And let's look at the scope cam footage. I had the third mil dot right on the heart. I was steady. The arrow flew straight when I took the shot, but that little bit of movement from the Blesbok put the point of impact a few inches higher than my aim point. Nevertheless, I'm extremely happy with the outcome. Well, we found quite a clear and prominent blood trail over here. There's some big spots all the way along this little donga over here, and this thing is bleeding quite a lot. It's quite easy to follow. So I have a feeling we're going to find him just over the back there, but let's give him a few minutes just to pass. And the last thing you want to do on a bow hunt, or hunting with an arrow like this, is to try and rush trying to find the animal afterwards, because if it hasn't bled out properly yet and you give it a fright, it can run off and struggle to find it. So the best thing to do is just give it a few minutes, and then we'll go over the top there and try and find it.
Right, here it is over here, hey? And that looks good. Nice. I'm very happy with that. And that is a massive hole. That is a huge hole. I don't know if you can see here, but that's more than 2 inches of cutting here with these Rage hypodermic broadheads. And this thing has plenty of power. You can just see that it's a massive hole right through him. It would have gone about that deep, so straight through the vitals. And that's a bit higher than the heart, but it would have been a perfect lung shot, probably a double lung shot. So yeah, he didn't go far. Shot him just down there, so definitely maybe about 100 meters, maybe a bit more than that. But now he's down. A lot of blood here, so I'm extremely happy with that. FX Royale Extreme has done its job properly, and I believe this is the first antelope taken with the air-powered arrow gun in South Africa. So it's definitely a first. I'm extremely happy with that. Come here, Kev. Just want to say thanks to Kevin. He did a great job getting me on this animal.
Well done. Yeah,
That's
we
good.
worked hard for him, but we got him in the end, and it was a good shot. Happy with that.
Yeah, that's great. So for those of you doubting whether this gun can perform or not, I think I've just proved that it can. I think obviously shot placement is absolutely key. Because this arrow is only 300 grains and not 400 grains, it won't penetrate as deep as a let's just say a 400 grain arrow out of a 70-pound bow, but it's definitely enough to take down an animal like this. So I think I've proved that it can do it. That's great. let's get this thing back and
Yeah. Get the
get
skin
it-
off and
get it
start
sorted
using the
out.
meat,
Yeah, perfect, great.
Cheers, eh?
Looked like it did its job, eh? The thing, obviously, like we saw, didn't go very far. Obviously, with the good shot, just gave it some time, and then it just fell over and finally found him. But obviously, the penetration was always good.
The next step was to carry the Blesbok to the bakkie, load it up, and head off to process the meat. And I am going to show you this part because I think that all game animals like this should be eaten after they're shot. It's pretty much a non-negotiable for me. Aber Game Lodge has great facilities, and as soon as we arrived, the guys got straight down to work. Right, so we've just come out to the cold room here. We've got really nice facilities here for, slaughtering the animal, getting the skin off, getting it gutted, getting the meat ready for the cold room. So that's what we're doing right now. Kevin's just getting the thing skinned nicely, getting it all prepared. It's a very important part of the process. If you're shooting an animal that you can eat like this, you've got to have the right facilities to get the meat organized. So that's what we're doing right now. Looking good so far.
Okay, I might just puke, so.
What's that? The flea?
Oh man.
Just eat it, man.
You eat a piece of it.
Okay, that's it.
Slugger. Get up, man.
Oh.
Near, go, Kevin. Go. Near. Come here.
That thing was good. It was good.
Look, hard.
Beer in your mouth.
I'm done, I'm not eating that.
Despite all the shenanigans, Kevin is actually a really good PH, and he explains what the meat is going to be used for now that the hunt has come to an end.
Okay, here we've got the Blesbok right next to the giraffe we shot yesterday. Hanging in the cool room now. It's going to hang here for a couple of days, but we're going to start using the meat, make some good biltong, boerewors, anything you can think of. It's great meat.
Well, we'd had a fantastic day, but it wasn't over yet. We still had some daylight, so we decided to make the most of it and organize a bush pig hunt for the evening. Kevin makes some phone calls and finds out that one of the local farmers in the area has been seeing bush pigs on his trail cams over the previous few weeks. So we have an early dinner, give Quentin a few shots with the arrow gun to get his eye in, as he'll be doing the shooting this time, pack up our equipment and head off on another adventure. In the next video, you'll get to see the highlight of my year, one of the most insane bush pig hunts caught on camera. Subscribe to see how that one turns out, and I'll catch you then. Thanks for watching.